Welcome back for part 2 of our recent trip to Big Bend National Park. If you missed part 1, be sure to follow the link in the description or at the end of this video. If you caught that video, then you know this amazing night of photography is where we left off.
We stayed at that location through first light, but transitioned to an area of old volcanic ash flow for sunrise. I had scouted the location, but then struggled a bit when the morning light danced across the area differently than I had anticipated.
When Jay was done playing with his camera, we headed back to Chisos Basin Road and eventually the Lost Mine Trail. While the trailhead is at the highest elevation on the road, it's the lowest point for the hike. The Lost Mine Trail is really 2 hikes in one. To get all the way to the top, the round-trip venture is just under 5 miles, and our Garmin measured 1,200 feet of elevation gain. Alternatively, you could stop at a spectacular view about 0.8 of a mile in and 400 feet up, if the entire distance is too much.
With our morning hike complete, we decided to explore the north end of the park. Before we knew it, we were at the Fossil Discovery exhibit. While interesting, the most important note is the shade should you find yourself visiting in one of the hotter months.
We didn't find much in the north to capture our attention, so we again shifted south for our sunset destination, Ernst Tinaja. Rather than taking the primitive high-clearance four-wheel drive only Old Ore Road from the north, we opted to hit the paved portion for as much as we could and tackle it from the south. Let me tell you, this was a fabulous decision. While Jay and I have done some fairly serious off-roading, and this was certainly not that. However, it was still very bumpy and slow going.
The hike to the Tinaja from the trailhead is just a half mile and well worth it. Hiking can continue further, but it's more like climbing than the typical hiking scramble. I found this location extremely captivating, but struggled to compose it for a photo. While the park paper advertised this location for a sunset, it isn't a good one for a sunset photo due to the sun's location.
While bouncing our way back to pavement, Jay decided to capture a Milky Way time-lapse from the porch of our casita at the Willow House. Check it out after the photos of our day.
Well, it has been an absolute whirlwind.
Yes.
Of 2.5 days. A very long one of those 2.5 days, and the other ones weren't really short either. That's a little unfortunate because this place here where we stayed, the Willow House, was absolutely amazing. Not sponsored or anything, but it's just really cool. Sort of a modern concrete casita, series of casitas. You can have some privacy. You can also stay just off of the main house. The main house is a common house if you were looking in the area. There's not a lot of places to stay around Big Bend other than backcountry camping and things. It's one of those national parks that's kind of clinging to the old ways, including the night sky. I cannot say enough about this night sky throughout the entire area. Birthday girl, was it a good trip?
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. We are off to say goodbye to, that is the Big Bend, and over there Santa Elena Canyon. So we've been looking at it for some time. It's time for us to go, and unfortunately too, snow. Snow as we make our way back north and towards home. So to find out where our stops are along that way, well, you'll have to check in the next video. We'll see you then. Bye bye.